Hi. Oh, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Angie Atkinson, and I am here. I think I'm here. I can only see you now.
Really? I see us both. I
Oh,
don't,
good. Okay. I'm not on YouTube yet. So,
I'm
oh, here
not
we go. Okay.
either. There
Hi.
we go.
Oh, I know, because you're on my other. Oh, now I look super tall. Okay. Sorry, guys. We're trying a new thing. Hey, everybody. All right. So today we're going to start talking. We're going to talk about. Wait a minute. Let me start over because nobody's even here yet. So, good afternoon, everybody. It's Angie Atkinson, and I'm here with the lovely and talented Lise Colucci. Lise, welcome back.
I
Hello. We're trying a new immersive view on Zoom. So if you guys like it, let us know. If you hate it, we'll switch back. We should play with it. It's fun or whatever.
Yep.
Anyway,
Okay, we
hey,
have to turn
Peggy.
opposite if we want to look like we're talking together. So
Yes, that we thought that would be fun. I'm going to try to turn up my volume a little bit just because I can't hear you that well right now.
okay.
Let me hear you.
Hey,
Oh,
can you
better.
hear
Thank
me?
you.
I just kind of yelled it though. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hey, Ellen. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Adrian. Chris and Peggy, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for our mod squad. Okay, we're just going to jump right in. So today we thought we would talk about parents, narcissistic parents, toxic parents, and ways they sabotage you and anyone else they happen to have access to. So can everyone hear us okay before we jump in here? I'm going to assume that they can.
Think so? Yeah.
Those otherwise. Okay. Yes. Okay. Ellen
She likes the
likes the
immersion.
immersive view. Yay, thank you. Hey, Pam, how are you today? We are here for you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, like I said, I'm sorry for all this rumbling in the beginning, or fumbling, I think is the better word. Narcissistic parents, how they sabotage us and anyone else they happen to be parenting. So,
Mhm.
Lise,
Oh boy.
hold on. I'll start us, and then you get ready. Okay. Okay. So there are a lot of different ways as we all know, that narcissistic parents will compulsively,
Oh
just
yeah.
actively, intentionally, and often to our serious detriment, right? They will undercut children, ourselves as adult children, children as children, and there are certain forms of sabotage that are very common to each person, right? To each type of relationship, even. I mean, really, narcissists in general, they have common ways to undercut us or to sabotage our efforts or our success or whatever. Sometimes it's just a matter of, you know, you're not really good enough for that, right? Or you're not like I just watched again. I watched Legally Blonde last night, and in one case, it wasn't a parent; it was the ex-boyfriend. You're not smart enough to get those grades, sweetie. You're not smart enough, sweetie. That's offensive to me when
Oh yeah.
anyone says it to anyone else, but you're not smart enough. That's one thing. Or you're not good enough, or you're not capable, or whatever. There are a lot of different ones, and we're going to talk about some of those today. But Lise, tell me specific, like in your case, well, what do you want to talk about as far as
What's coming to mind first
Mhm.
is creating learned helplessness and sabotaging people's successes and their ability to function and their ability to feel like they can do rather than can't do in
Mhm.
life. That narcissists need you. A lot of times, narcissistic mothers in particular, and fathers will do it often financially.
Mhm.
More, I hear of it more anyway. Where they make it so that you're so reliant on them,
Mhm.
and at the same time making it like there's no way you could possibly do this, like you
Yes,
were saying. And but here I could help you. I could do it. I could make it so that it's okay for you.
yes,
And so they are. So you come to rely on them, and they're really sabotaging your autonomy.
right, right. Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't even, we don't even know it's happening while it's happening. Like for me personally, I always just assumed I really was that big of a piece of crap.
Exactly. You don't know it's happening because it's been going on your whole life with a toxic parent.
Right,
You
right,
know.
right.
Hmm.
And then there's a way where sometimes they will like normalize, or they will,
Hmm.
when it comes to every morning or every evening or whatever, maybe there's a big rage incident and you get so used to it that you don't even really bother, or you don't even bothered by it anymore.
Hmm.
Maybe you even pick it up and you start doing it with your own kids until you realize that's messed up, right? So they normalize weird stuff. They make things that feel horrifying to other people. Okay.
Mhm.
I have an example of what I consider to be a parenting success, and this is kind of weird and crazy, but so there was this couple that we knew that were not. I will say they were acquaintances, and they came and stayed with us for a period of time, short time. And during the few days they were at our home, the couple, long story short, they were chasing each other around the house, having a fight, almost got physical. One of
Wow.
them literally stood behind me and was taller than me, but anyway, because I was instantly like, this is not happening in this house, stop or get out, basically. And this is really messed up. But afterward, my kids were so shocked and horrified and slightly traumatized by this slight almost fight that happened, that I realized I had done something right. That's messed up. But for them to have not experienced that to me, yes, it was alarming. Yes, it was upsetting, but I handled it. It was done. And the reason I wasn't as traumatized is because that wasn't so far outside of. Now, I didn't experience that exact thing. My people didn't fight each other, but I experienced, feelings of that. So I guess my point is normalizing weird bad stuff.
Yeah, normalizing, yeah, that becomes the,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. What's another one you can think of? Another,
Oh, I had one.
sorry.
No, it's not. Don't be sorry. You're doing what you're supposed to do. I'm supposed to hold my thought. Okay. It happens.
Tolerated.
All right. So, it was parents sabotage. They sabotage your relationships with your other people and your friends.
Mhm.
They will cut your friendships down. They will not like someone. They
Yeah.
will disapprove of the people you bring home, or do the opposite, where they love bomb the person you bring home, the friends, and disapprove of you. So basically they throw those other people that are in your life into the dynamic of the narcissistic family system or family cult.
Yeah.
And then they become part of the system, and you've lost the genuine normalness of that friendship or relationship, and they have sabotaged your ability to have those relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to pause for a moment. Pam Hall, thank you for the super sticker you just sent. That is awesome, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that, and I hope that I don't accidentally repeat it because I was mostly listening.
No, it's okay. I'm talking about, family.
Yeah.
When they will sabotage your friendships and your
Oh, yeah.
your, your friendship. I know we have to pay attention to so many
I got a
things.
little
I don't
distracted
get
by
it.
the chat.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
But
I get it. Yeah.
that's
You
a
guys
legitimate.
realize we do this impromptu with no notes. So
it's more fun.
it's
Okay.
way more fun.
Anyway, yes, right. Okay. Another thing that, and this one's kind of, it'll throw you. It's the style of reward and punishment.
Oh yeah.
So whether they're beating you or not, they will, if you say, I disagree with something that you personally think parent who is toxic, then whatever the worst form of punishment is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you comply with their behavior or their requests or their requirements or whatever, even if you're complying on the level of, I'm only doing this because this is what I'm required to do, and even if what they want you to do is like really bad, like go to the store and steal dinner for me, kid, or whatever. I mean, that's not bad if it's dinner. I guess it's bad, but it's not, okay, whatever. You get my point. I try to keep it in my head that it's okay if you're just feeding your children, but I don't do that or anything. It's okay. But anyway, if they send you out to do some bad stuff, okay, here's an example. So a friend of mine who's now passed away had a parent who is also now passed away, who literally sent him out to sell drugs at the age of 7 or 8 because he's not going to get in trouble. He's just a little kid. So you can imagine the things that would happen to a kid out selling drugs. Eventually, they found out she was taken, right? But that's a really horrible parent thing to do. And yet she would reward that because he was doing what she told him to do, complying with her requests and her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they give you really a lot of confusion about living in the world, and so free expression is punished. Conforming to whatever sick rules they have, whether they're good rules or bad rules, is always rewarded. So they're teaching you not to think for yourself. They're teaching you not to be creative and to, in fact, shut down any original thoughts you have. And unless you're, Unfortunately, it didn't work with me. But
Mm.
fortunately, I guess I should say. But a lot of times it does work. And some people never find out they were raised this way because they didn't ever break out of the mold that was built for them. Anyway,
Right.
anyway.
Hmm.
Mhm. Thoughts?
Oh no, that was going to go on with the next one.
Do it.
Should we just keep going?
Yeah.
Um, it was they will steal your glory and steal your thunder when you do things in your life that are positive, happy, good, whatever it is. You
Mhm.
tell them, they will
Yeah.
take it and twist it and make it about them, or shoot it down saying it's not that important, or say, yeah, well, you succeeded this time, but look how many times you failed, or well, it's just bound to fail, watch out, honey,
Yeah.
don't get too happy.
Right.
So they will pull the wool or the rug out from under you every time.
Yeah.
And they will sabotage your ability to feel success and to feel like you're, accomplishing anything in life.
100%. I agree. And on that same note, they will also take down your own strength. It will take down your, like, let's say, oh, I have another example. Imagine that. So, when I got my first book published, which was not about narcissistic abuse recovery, I sent, I called my mother and I said, "Oh my gosh, my name's on the cover is so exciting!" La la la, right? And she said, "I have to go. I'm really busy." And
Yeah.
I was,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so I
Uh-huh.
felt a little sad about that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so if they aren't, if they're not getting something, it's just kind of a jump off of your point, Lise, that
Yeah,
they,
it's the same
yeah.
same thing, different display of the same terrible behavior. Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
Um, well, let's see. How do they sabotage you? Um,
Well, you mentioned
well, they
learn.
guilt trip you. They're
Um,
guilt tripping you all the time.
yes,
They
yes,
force all your attention back onto them or back onto the things they want you to put your attention on,
yeah,
and guilt trip you when you don't do it. They guilt trip you for everything.
yeah. And as you mentioned, learned helplessness, you can also look at it from the other side, is the child as parent type of situation, right?
Mhm.
You become responsible for their, maybe you already
Right.
mentioned this.
Hmm.
Become
The
responsible.
enmeshment. They
Yes,
create the enmeshment, which,
yeah.
yeah, again, sabotages your individuation as
Mhm.
an adult. Hmm. I feel
And
like I
then
want to put but then the narcissistic parent. Sorry,
oh my God, I'm dying. Okay.
I have to do it
I,
this way. That doesn't work.
this one time, okay, stop. Um, anyway, I can't even see us right now because
It's just.
woo. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So another thing is, wait a minute. So okay. So, but there's like some people call it emotional incest, where you have like one parent leaves and then the opposite sex child becomes sort of takes
Mhm.
the place of that.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Uh-huh.
That's a big sabotage.
It is a big sabotage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if the parent encourages it, right? Hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
They'll alienate you from the other parent. There's
frequently. Oh,
if you are if even when you're in the same house.
yeah.
It's not just when there's a divorce situation, but they'll alienate you from your other parent if they can.
Yeah, and especially even if it's like a parent of their choice, like a step parent or something, they don't want you to be closer to that person than you are to them, and they don't want that person to feel any sort of allegiance to you. And so, and I see, especially with narcissistic mothers, I see this interesting thing that happens almost across the board when when they still have a husband or a spouse in the house, they become the child, and it happens with fathers as well, but especially, I mean, we'll just say this. They are already treated as an extension of the narcissist by the narcissist. But when there's another parent in the house who is often, not always, but often just either so afraid of the narcissist, or in the
Mhm.
case of a histrionic mother, a lot of times you see they're so devoted and
Mhm.
addicted to them that if they don't pay attention to their children almost at all, unless their children are doing something with or around the mother, or the
Mhm.
mother tells them to, right? That's really yucky. And I think it's hurtful for a lot of people. So,
Mhm.
yes. Um, let's see. What else, Lise? What are you thinking about?
Sabotaging parents. Well, they will take over your finances sometimes and
Mm,
sabotage you that way. It can be really manipulative in ways of getting. I've heard of everything from them lending extreme amounts of money so that it's difficult to pay back. And then instead of just because they can, right? The parent will do that. And then instead of saying, okay, here's a payment plan, everything that you do in your life, well, how could you be doing that if you owe me money? How could you be doing that if you owe me money? So that there's always a control on what you do with your life. So basically, they loaned you the money to be able to control your life.
yeah,
They didn't loan you the money because you needed the money, right?
yeah.
And they want to be helpful.
Gifts
Um,
with strings attached.
but
Yes.
that can go in a million directions, right? Like money and narcissist is a major means of control.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
They also, on that same note, and I agree with you, this can start in childhood and go all the way through
Oh
for
yeah.
even some of them will use the will to manipulate someone for their
Mhm.
whole
Oh
life.
yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yep. And on the flip side of all of that, you have these people who use their kids' social security number and destroy their credit before they even get there, before they're even 18. I've seen that a lot actually. And I
Mhm.
think I'm not saying they do it on purpose, but I'm not saying they don't do it on purpose. I mean,
You kind of have to do that on purpose. Like you're making a choice to do something pretty bad, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't give any credit at all. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, the only reason the only reason I even said what I just said is because I thought of an episode of a show that I used to
Where it
watch.
was, yeah,
Yeah, it was
it was explained away on that show.
no, they straight up called it out. It was
Oh,
actually
okay.
a good, the kid really did, and the parents apologized and everything. They were teenagers when it happened, whatever. But ow. But it was Raising Hope, if you ever saw that show. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Are we okay? Do you have any other ones you want to mention before we jump in the chat? I'm trying to
I
think of
am
them.
thinking of them.
Oh, I've got one.
What?
And this is a weird one. This is only usually with the golden child, but sometimes with the other kids, if they, sorry if I talk too fast.
You're okay.
Okay. It's sometimes with the other kids if they depending on the parents in the situation, but they will bail them out. And I know that
Mm.
sounds like a good thing. I'm not
No,
saying
I
you should
get
bail
you.
your kids out, but no consequences. They like, oh, I know a judge and we'll just wipe this right up or whatever. But then the kid never learns anything.
Right. They
You know?
don't allow for normal life lessons because they're always bailing out because they need to be the hero.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Um,
then through that they can then teach the child that they can't take care of their own life. It's kind of
yes.
yeah.
They can learn helplessness, the whole thing.
Teach the child, teach the adult, teach the whatever age, right? It's yeah.
Yep.
Um,
And I've seen this with people who I'm trying to think of like I just watched it. I'll tell you later. I can't remember. I lost my example. Oh, I know. Okay. So somebody stole my son's phone from school, a little boy, and I went to get the phone. Of course, I have GPS on it. What do you think I am? And I went to the parent's house and picked up the phone, and I saw that the parent did not apologize to me, did
wow.
not make any effort to let me know that the child would be taken care of, and essentially didn't even speak to or look at the child during this. It was very clear to me that this was going to just be dropped and we were going to move on because I don't want to talk about all that. But anyway, long story short, I took action and tried to help by reaching out to the school. The school, not our problem. And they finally, long story short, I talked to a lot of people, finally got a hold of the school resource officer. And he was willing to go and say, hey, and I said, I don't want you to put him in jail. He's a kid. I just want him to know that what he did was wrong so that he doesn't do it again. And it seemed like, I'm just saying, if it were me, I would have said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We will take care of this. This will never happen again. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
But I think what those parents in that situation did was toxic because they didn't.
They didn't correct it or even talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like,
Kids make mistakes and kids do things on purpose that's naughty sometimes. It happens and we need
it
to, yeah,
does. But
yeah,
if they know, look,
yeah.
if you do that when you're a grown up, you're going to jail, buddy.
Exactly. And how would you feel if your stuff was stolen and the whole like the basic stuff that you
Right.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought of one which is that they don't allow you to have your own likes or dislikes. They
Mhm.
control and conduct what you like and dislike. So they will put you in soccer
Mhm.
when you don't like soccer or sports at all. They will, I mean, and there's one thing to say, okay, it's important for you to have a fulfilling life full
Mhm.
and it's good to try it. If you don't like it, whatever, like
Yeah.
maybe you don't like it. And so it's not to say that everyone who has their child do something that is against their likes or dislikes is wrong, but it's
Right.
kind of like their MO. They do it all the time.
Hmm.
And it's usually things that they are interested in
Hmm.
that is like sort of that so they can live vicariously through the child,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm. And I've seen that. And the other thing,
Pushed to an extreme usually and pushed further
yes,
than yeah.
yeah, you see that a lot. I'm thinking right now of I don't know that it was a toxic situation, but a dance teacher in our town that I grew up in who had one of her kids was a big dancer, the other kid was not a dancer but could dance. And one of them was really, really, it just almost felt like the whole, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking bad about them because I think they had a good family, but it could have been a coincidence that they all like dance. Anyway,
Well,
um,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, but I think okay, one more. So two more really quick, really quick. They're kind of similar. Uh, I think this goes back to learned helplessness, right? But some parents don't teach their children basic life skills, right?
Mhm,
And I'm
mhm.
not saying that if you don't do that, that you're a horrible person, but I am saying if you don't do that, start because
Right.
it really helps your kids. And kids who can't function on their own, they really have a hard time sometimes, and they can really become toxic to their partners in the future,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And the other thing is not being there when they should be, like not showing up for the band concert or not showing up for the, ER visit, or not coming home when, your kid suddenly has to get emergency surgery or whatever, like not being there in the
Mhm.
way that you should. Or like a certain parent that I know decided to go back to school full time when a certain person was in high school and they were living on campus for a whole week at a time. And then that other person,
Wow.
okay, it was me. I was a child, but I was in high school. But I had a car that I bought with my own money. Thank you. Um, but which I earned by working. But my sibling, he was not driving yet, and I think he was in eighth grade the first year, and a freshman the second year. And so I had to sort of. I mean, I wasn't his mom. He was 3 years younger than me, but I was acting in that capacity on some level. Like I was making sure dinner was made and making sure he had whatever for school and driving him places he needed to go, things like that. And that was not cool for me. But only because I felt overwhelmed by the responsibility. This person was parents in a different town. The other parent was always off on business every other month. And so it was like 4 weeks at a time sometimes. I mean, but weekends they'd be back.
Mhm.
But we knew our neighbors. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just saying it felt terrible sometimes. So
Can imagine. Yeah. Mhm.
anyway, do you have anything else before we jump into
Yes, I thought of one where I keep forgetting because I'm like listening to yours.
sorry.
No, it's my brain. Like, come on. It was a good one.
Mm,
Hang on, I'm going through the brain scan here. Notes. I should write notes while you're talking.
you're good.
That's what I should do.
Okay.
I'll say it if it comes back. It will
Okay.
come back because it
I'm
was
sure it will.
yeah,
I
it was
know.
on the what was it?
Okay.
Oh,
Tell me.
okay. It's because they're narcissistic, because of the way a narcissistic parent is,
Mhm.
everything that they're doing while they're parenting is getting supplied coming back toward themselves. So when they see something, most of the time or often, that would be deemed good for the kid
Mhm.
in the best interest of the child, it's manipulated to be in the best interest of the parent.
Yes.
So that then they say, use the words, it's in your best interest, I'm doing this for you. So you learn to caretake them
Mm,
your whole life. Does you see what I'm saying? They're setting up
yeah.
a narrative that
Mhm.
is for the child's best interest. When you actually look at it, it's actually serving the parent. It's not
Yes.
serving the child. It's serving the parent's wants for the child, wishes for the child, to conduct their life in the way that they think it should go.
For
And then
sure.
and then you learn that, oh, my parent loves me and is taking care of me because they use those words. And then when you are an adult, you're like, wait a minute, that was never about me. That was about them.
Right.
And that's pretty confusing when it comes to what is love and what
It's
is
over. Mhm.
it's yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And there's a lot of this is the thing, is that some people will come and they will say, do they do this on your videos too? I maybe just but people who maybe haven't been here, they'll come into my videos sometimes and they'll go, and not here as much, but like in the recorded ones, and they'll go, this is normal. Everybody, you could.
Exactly. Yeah. It is normal until it becomes pathological.
Yeah.
Everyone acts in the best interest of their child based on their own version of what they consider is their best interest.
Yeah.
But when you are healthy about it, there's space for what that child needs and wants and wishes, and for who they are individually.
Yeah.
For who the other parent is, for who the other influences are. You're looking at a big picture.
Right.
You're not going, it would be in the child's best interest if I picked them up at 4 because we're leaving for a trip at 6. No, that's in your best interest. The child can sit here, eat a snack, and be ready to go.
Right.
Like, it has nothing to do with the child, right? So, and that's what they do, and it becomes pathological because they do it all the time, right?
Right. So, okay, yes.
Okay.
Are you ready to jump in the chat?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'm going to call you soy. I know that's in Spanish, but I don't want to say that word in public because I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I'll feel stupid.
I want to see it now.
Perdedor. I don't know. Okay, I just did it for you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Soy says the self-doubt and feeling guilty engulfs me. I actually think I'm the narcissist now because I'm so cruel shifting the blame. That's tough, right? You're not.
Are we shifting? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just acknowledging, I think, the truth, maybe. Right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Stick with us. We'll get you there.
Yeah, it's about allowing the person to be who they are. And because a narcissistic person won't take accountability and accept the cause and effect of their actions, you've been taught to take it on, and so there's guilt. You've made it your own, so to speak. Not you've made it, but it's been placed on you, and now you are making it your own by feeling guilty over someone else's behavior.
Yeah,
it's not blame shifting. It's allowing what is to be.
Allowing the truth. You have to accept a narcissistic parent's limitations. That sounds weird, but when I was able to recognize that, in fact, I was not the whole problem, and that there were boundaries being violated, and that person was human mostly, as far as I could tell, and I could accept their limitations, then I could release my own. I'm not saying we don't have any responsibility, but when you're a child, you don't have any responsibility.
No, you learn, it's age appropriate. You have age appropriate responsibility.
Yes.
And it's not a whole lot until you're older.
Right. And this point that Chris Dahlketter makes, they downgrade you to make themselves look better is valid all the way across the board. What do you got? It looks like you have one for us, Lise.
The Princess Diary says, I'm 28 and I have moved out of my mother is still trying to micromanage and sabotage my life. Oh, I'll bet she is. It's not surprised. Just made it to this live. I barely got out of her apartment. And then later they say she is still trying to ruin my life. So I have to move back with her and she can control me. Yeah.
Run. I mean,
make choices that lead in a different direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if she's trying to, I need more information, but if she's trying to destroy your life by sabotaging your work or your money or your whatever, your relationships, step back 3 steps and recognize you have 2 choices here. I'm not saying you have to go no contact, but I am saying when you do go no contact, your life's going to get a little better. Maybe, probably. No contact is a godsend sometimes. And it feels not great sometimes, but it also feels pretty good sometimes because you suddenly realize you don't have to concern yourself with making sure your decisions are okay with a toxic parent. Right?
Right. And if you're low contact, learn to do low contact really, really well.
Yes.
It means gray rock, and it means keeping them out of your business, keeping them out of don't even tell them the good stuff because they'll use it to sabotage you like we're talking about. So yeah, her whole life is about controlling others so that she can get the supply from them and she can feel what she needs to feel about herself through them, instead of having, that's narcissist life. And narcissistic mothers, they kind of don't, once they get their claws in, they don't let go. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. And that's a really important point. And look, narcissistic fathers are also their own kind of
Oh
child.
yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
I've heard everything from full control to completely absent and everything in between. And I think that's the case with every narcissistic parent. They're either usually full control, or they're fully absent, or they're only abusing one or two of their 2 or 3 children, which is unfortunate. In any case, it's never good. Okay.
Don't let them guilt trip you either. That's usually their main source and means of control, is using guilt trips and emotionally getting you to give over to them whatever it is they're asking for.
Yep.
Through guilt. So.
Yep. Soy un perdedor says, my mom hated anyone that I held attention to. Now, we kind of talked about this a little bit, right? But this is a real thing. How many boyfriends or girlfriends, Lise, or friends or boyfriends or whatever, did your mother or person of toxic behavior, I'm not trying to call out anyone, push away? I mean, I don't know the number for me. It was a lot. Everybody that I really got close to, unless my person
friends, everyone.
Yeah. Unless they would follow my parents' control.
Actually growing every single friend, but then in this way of push-pull.
Yes.
I'm so nice. Go away. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's ugly. I've been there. And it's partially just the same reason that a narcissistic spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever does it, because they want your attention. They don't want you to be more loyal to someone else. And they certainly don't want anyone supporting you about your abuse,
Right. And I think another thought I had of ways that they sabotage that relates to this is they control the narrative in everything. So they will plant seeds about your friends, your partner, or your boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. They'll plant seeds in your head to get you thinking something's wrong. That person has really bad parents. I wonder how, and then talking the gossipy sort of stuff, or I really don't like the way I see them treat you. So you think they're looking out for you, and you're like, why would they do? And well, when you were talking, they left the room. Well, they had to go to the bathroom. Like, you're thinking, what? Oh no, that's super rude. And so then any narrative that they can set so that your mind starts going down the trail of something's wrong with my friendship, something's wrong with my friend.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff I dealt with. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, I can honestly tell you, and this is terrible, but up to a point, I think my parent chose everyone in my life up to a point. We could talk about that. But the people that I did choose were almost always people who either they never liked or they liked at first. And then outside of that, so on some level, because at first it was all about getting approval from that person. Like, I just wanted them to like me. And so if I could get them to like the people I was around, then maybe they would like me. It didn't work out that great. And then I just actively, like, it wasn't until I went no contact that I actively chose to be around anyone that they didn't want me to be around. Pretty much. I mean, at least not where I told them. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Do you have another one for us?
No, I'm trying to scroll here.
I've got one. Ellen, just a comment. Ellen says, my parents and any narcissist I knew downgraded everyone I liked and bonded with. People that hurt me. Oh, they downgraded everyone I liked and they bonded with people who hurt me. Hold on a minute. Was that you? Oh no. Okay. All right. Okay. So wait, what happened? Oh, downgraded. Let me start over. Ellen says, my parents and any narcissist I knew downgraded everyone I liked and bonded with people who hurt me. Example, my father was the best man in my ex-boyfriend's wedding.
Weird.
That's really bad. I mean, I did not know that one, Ellen. I'm so sorry. That's really bad. I mean, I'll acknowledge that my ex-husband's parents were closer to me for a period of time than him after the divorce, but that's because they never told him about the divorce and I had the kid. So it wasn't really about me. But now well, she's passed on now, but he is now in relationship with his son and not with me. Not that he's against me or anything, but he just doesn't, we don't really, our shared family member is an adult. So he's okay,
Yeah.
but
Angela Falsetta is agreeing they sabotaged almost every friendship and boyfriend relationship I ever had, unless, giant capitals, I never let them meet.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
see, I would only get the approval if mine would agree to play the game, basically. And ironically, the person I'm married to now will not play the game. And it went over like a lead balloon.
That works. Bye. Yeah.
Okay. And in fact, that's probably the reason I had the strength to go no contact, if I'm being honest.
You
I might
had
have
the
done it
support.
anyway, but I was, yeah. Okay.
It does help to have the support, whether it be someone in your life or someone that you find to help you.
Right.
That is a lot of what we do in coaching is help kind of handhold while people, or basically hold someone's back, right?
Yeah.
While they are being, going through this process of getting away from toxic people. Yeah.
Yep. It's all true. You got one for us?
SN says they always make us feel that it's our fault. I think I was approximately 45 years old when I realized it is not my fault. Scapegoating, right? Like the scapegoating is.
I experienced almost an identical situation. I was 35 when I realized that it was abuse fully. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know. I doubted myself. I had a low threshold, right? Or a high threshold for abuse. So things that were, the obvious abuse was obvious, right? But the thing where when you get to that place where things are like, they feel normal and you start to think, well, I probably deserve that. Stuff like that. I was 45 when I realized that parental alienation was not my freaking fault and that I wasn't wrong for wanting to know that other parent.
It still feels, I remember when we were talking about it, we were both explaining it. We still feel awkward and guilty and weird, even just saying it. Yeah. It's
wasn't very long ago.
People say you can't make somebody feel anything. You can't make, people will say that you can manipulate someone to influence the way they feel. Absolutely. And they do make us feel, they do create a situation where we feel guilty.
Right.
We feel like it's our fault.
For sure. Yeah. And then there's, oh wait, do you have another one or did I have one?
No, I was just thinking about that.
Okay. Oh, Tony Roa in the house. Hey, Tony. Let's see. Blue-eyed. I love this name, but it's a bad name. Blue-eyed floozy. I'm going to call you Blue. Says, I felt like my mother hated me. I sought her love forever. Still don't have the ability to feel love. That's rough. I also felt the same way. I do remember saying to myself when I was, sorry for talking so much. I do remember saying to myself when I was like 12 years old, when I was pretty sure I wasn't going to have kids, I thought to myself, which I did, I had 3. But at the time I said to myself, I don't ever want my kids to feel about me how I feel about her. And that was one reason I was thinking about not having kids. It didn't work out that way. And I'm glad, but it was a situation that, yeah. Anyway, Lise, thoughts?
Wow. When we have that feeling of not being able to feel loved.
Big one.
It's a big one. But here's the thing. It is changeable. It is, that's a place you can work in your own life. And it may not look the way you think it's going to look.
Right. I want to add this comment for you so that you can expand on it. She said, men I choose are not able to show love and I chase it just like my mom relationship. I did that for years.
Yes, because you are following here's what I see. Okay. People who have had this type of abuse go on in their life are chasing it, right? Because that's what feels normal to you.
Right.
And because you're trying to repair something from your past. You're
Mhm.
trying to say, let me take this really unlovable person, which is the other person, the toxic person,
Mhm.
and create a loving relationship. And therefore, then I will prove I'm lovable.
Yeah.
So instead of that, it really is about making better choices in who we chase, right? And hopefully not chasing anyone, but making
Oh.
different choices for our lives. And it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to feel awkward. And it may take some help to figure out what it is for you and why you're doing it, and what can change in you so that you can make different choices.
Yeah.
And sometimes the part of that path is doing it and being like, oh, I'm doing it again. Okay, stop. Oh, I'm doing it again. Stop, until you stop doing it, right? There's all kinds of
Pattern interrupt. Yeah.
there's all kinds of yeah, ways and patterns that happen that so what I'm seeing is that just seeing it is awesome.
Yes.
Just seeing it is the start.
Yes. I want to give you two things. One, an affirmation that I did not make up, but that's really effective. I don't chase, I attract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Use that one. And the other thing is that I've been there and done this, and I'll tell you this much. When you go into that mode, you are definitely not chasing is wrong. I don't mean it like that. What I mean is, hold on. I don't mean you're wrong. I mean your methods are hurting you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I did this and I struggled until it wasn't until I got to the place where I had convinced myself that my life was, and it was enough, and that I could be happy as I was by myself if I wanted to. And I found that. And then when I got to that point, I had done a lot of healing, done a lot of work, didn't fully understand what I had dealt with, but I was able to say to myself, I don't need him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need this person or any person. And so now I can decide who comes through here, and whatever
Right.
I have
Mm-hmm.
there. So I went on a lot of bad first dates, and then I was a lot of no, I got a little bit excessive with it, but but ultimately it led me to today. So
Mm-hmm.
just take your time
Oh
and
yeah.
love yourself and your own life first. And remember that every time you do one of those pattern interrupts that Lise described, just throw in this affirmation: I don't chase, I attract. Let them come to you, because then I'm not saying that's the only way to know they're okay, because that's not.
No.
But let them come to you, okay? And then
Right.
decide if you keep them or not, right?
Right, you're making a choice. Every 10 seconds you can make a new choice.
That's right.
We get that option
Hmm.
once
It's
we
beautiful,
allow it.
right?
Right. Once you allow it, there's an option, and then what isn't working and what is an emotional drain or leak in your life. And
Mhm.
if it's that, then make a different choice. And I know
Exactly.
that sounds simplistic, but
Mhm.
it is simple, and it's super complicated to get there. Let's, you
It is.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a lot I could say about loving yourself too. So another topic for another time, but yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Good. Do you have another one for us?
Um,
I have a good one if you don't.
Good, go for it. I haven't looked down.
Okay. Hold on a second. First of all, what is this? Ellen Cedar was oh,
I
okay.
have, yes, when you're done. Go ahead.
Okay. So loves Ellen says, I love pink too, but never wore it because my mother said it made me look bad. Uh Stacy Sparkles is like total BS. As you may or may not be aware, I'm a big fan of pink. And I also didn't wear it back in the day, not because my mother told me, but a long story, doesn't matter. And I'm back. And I've been back for a long time. Pink. Okay. But I
Thanks.
really a more serious one that I think we should answer is from Diana. She says, how do you forgive narcissist parents? And how do you know that you've fully forgiven them? Okay, I want to say what I would say, and then I'm gonna let Lisa say what Lisa says. Okay. Forgiveness is subjective, first of all. A lot of people don't want to forgive them at all, and I'm not going to force you to do anything like that ever. Okay. I know people who need to feel angry, who need to stay angry, and who need to never forgive in their minds.
Mhm.
And then, and I will say it to you like this: I did forgive. However, I'm not forgetting. I'm not falling back into old patterns with them. And I am no contact. I never told them I forgave them, because it's none of their damn business. Okay. It's not about them. It's about me getting them out of my head so I can move on and have a good life. So I released them. And so now I tell people, I'm not for, you don't have to forgive. You just really, some people don't like, some survivors don't want to forgive their abusers. And that makes total sense to me, because forgiveness for some of us is just, okay, it's cool. Let's go back to what we were doing before. But that's not what we're doing with these people. We are releasing not only our attachment, our connection to them, but we're also releasing our need to, number one, know what happens next for them, have any control or concern about it. And number two, our need to almost, because we are, unfortunately, we can become trauma bonded with our parents just like anyone else.
Oh yeah.
We have that, right? That addiction thing. So you have to let go of that feeling of, I need my mother to tell me I'm okay, or my father, or whoever. And so when you can validate your damn self, pardon me, and let go of the parts of yourself that need validation from your parent or anyone else in the world, that's how you know you made it through. How do I know that I fully forgiven my parent? I don't even think about my parent every day. I only think about them when I'm talking to y'all for the most. I mean, that's not totally true. I have my moments, but I don't think angry thoughts. Mostly I've worked through most of that stuff. I'm mostly to the point where sometimes I have realizations. Like a year and a half ago, I realized I was angry about parental alienation that occurred with the other parent. I'm still a little pissed off. I'm a lot pissed off about that, but I'm working through it. You know what I'm saying? You have to it's not going to just be, oh, you're forgiven and it's over. It's not.
Right.
I wrote a letter to forgive. It helped me, but it was only the beginning. And I've spent many years thinking I'm great. And then boom, here comes another thing I have to work through. I think it's, what is full forgiveness for your abuser? You tell me. I don't know. Lise, you talk.
First of all, I will say personally, I don't appreciate or like the word forgive. I don't think it's applicable to this situation to forgive for everyone. Like you're saying, it's not everyone's path. So it's sort of, don't put your expectations on what other people are telling you. If you don't feel like you're a person that needs that, then that's your path and your choice. And it's, some people will tell you you have to forgive, but here's what I think we do almost have to do to move past it and get where Angie's talking about. And it's called allow. We have to allow that person to be who they are. I always give this analogy. If you have a giant fish tank and you got a shark in it, you have to allow that shark to be a shark and stop thinking it is a goldfish and jumping in and swimming with it. Not that you swim with goldfish, but you know what I mean? Like, you got to know what you're dealing with and allow that person. That does no reflection on you, no judgment on it. They simply are toxic, narcissistic people who have no ability to have empathy for others in the way that is necessary for a healthy relationship. Okay. And it takes away taking it personal. It's the taking it personal that keeps us stuck more than forgiveness or not forgiveness. It's why forgive? Because what you're asking for is self-forgiveness half the time. It's a big topic, forgiveness. It's a good one too. So think about what it means for you. I would say, like, what is forgiveness for you? Is it necessary in your life? And what are other areas? What are the what is this need for forgiveness covering up? Is it allowance? Do you need to allow them to be what they are? Are you feeling guilty and you need to forgive yourself for even being in, for whatever, right? Because we carry them like baggage on our backs, and we got to kind of drop the baggage and see who we are as individuals, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And on that same note, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I'm just getting long-winded, so I'm stopping.
I just wanted to say on the same note, something I mentioned earlier was with the parent. Wait a minute, hold on, forgiveness. Oh, wait, I'll think of it again later. Oh, what was it you said you need to allow? Okay, so you also need to accept their limitations, right? So you don't have to accept them as part of your life. You just have to look at them and go, I literally, when I got to that point of, okay, I could accept the limitations, I almost felt sorry for that person.
Yep. Right. And then that is an ounce of forgiveness. Not, I forgive you for hurting me and for being a horrible person to me. I forgive whatever it is that created that connection that made me think you were that important. Right? Yeah.
It is what it is. Yep.
It is what it is. And that's our aim, is to help people get through this stuff. I mean, this is kind of a juicy spot because it's
Really, yeah, really
It's a
valid
sticking
question.
point for people, really.
Right. And it's a very hotly debated sticking point in this particular
Oh
area,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say, and then some people want to go so far as to get revenge. And just like I tell you all the time, I would say revenge is living well despite the fact they exist, as if they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's harsh, especially when you're thinking of it from a parent standpoint. But yeah, that's what it is for
I'm
me.
going to answer something real quick. Michelle's Vortex. Forgive yourself for what exactly? Exactly. But the thing is, and the reason I said that is because so many people will talk to me and probably Angie as well and say, I feel guilty. I feel shame.
Mhm.
I feel, and they had nothing to do with the problem. They were children or they were a literal victim of somebody else's emotional abuse, no matter what age they were. And there is nothing to forgive in oneself. Or they say, well, I stayed, well, I keep talking to them, well, I'm the one that can't let go. So that's what I mean by that. It's not, I don't personally think anyone has anything to forgive themselves for,
Right.
except that people come and say that they have all these feelings directed at self, right?
Valid point. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good points. Okay.
There's a question here if you don't have one. Do you
Yeah,
have
go
one?
ahead. Go ahead.
Cynthia Beale says, do narcissist parents make you feel guilt or teach you to feel guilt for every problem in their lives and train you to appease them? Even detaching to save your own sanity produces guilt and shame. Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they roll.
That is, it's like their
Bread and
like,
butter.
what do they call it? Money play.
Said bread and butter, but I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
it's their bread and butter. Yeah, it's
yeah.
their main.
It's
It's
how they
yeah. Yep.
get it
Yep.
done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, emotional manipulation is the primary, right, for most of these people. Sometimes they also physically punish. That was unfortunately
Mm-hmm.
my situation.
Mm-hmm.
But the physical punishments I probably would have already long forgotten, maybe. But the emotional stuff, that's what, and the psychological stuff, I mean, they're all connected, the physical punishments can be part of the psychological stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. Move on. Okay. What were we saying? You have one for us?
Oh, nothing. I was listening to you.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so we had one. Blue Eyed says she never acknowledged my success, only shamed me for things I'd like to do as a single mother. Another common tactic. And if you are able to pull away from her and not have her doing any sort of childcare for you, not have her doing any sort of anything for you, you're going to feel a lot better as time goes on. Yes. We are we still good for you on time?
Oh, we should probably go soon. Yes.
Yeah.
We need to end.
Yes, I thought so, because I just saw a calendar thing pop up.
I did too, but I wasn't sure if it was mine or someone else.
I wasn't either, because I saw one for you and then I saw another one for you. Then
I
I
have
saw
one
one
later,
for
but
the
I
other
think
person.
it is at 1:00 correct. I have a 1:00. So yes,
Good.
my one.
Okay.
My one. Yeah.
Okay. So it is yours. Okay. Soy says, I'm nearly 50, and when I'm with my parents, I feel like a young child trying to please them.
Oh yeah.
In there. I don't go there anymore because
Exactly. Yeah. You're being re-traumatized around them. That's why. And you'll notice that perhaps maybe when you're triggered away from them, you might have that same feeling of being a child when you're triggered by something in life. That same feeling will come up. But when you're around toxic people, you're not being triggered. You're being re-traumatized because you're in it. Right?
True. 100%. Yeah. Okay. We've got people talking about they're cutting people. Okay, guys, if you want to talk about this again, definitely let's do that. In the meantime, if you want to be part of a smaller support group about this, Lise has an amazing ongoing support group. It's ridiculously underpriced in my opinion, but she does such great work with you. It's just lots of, go look at the, is it still on the front page of your channel, your testimonial?
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go look on her channel, which I will link here, or one of our mods can give it to you, or it's in the description. Just Lise Colucci, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Coaching, I think, or just any support, maybe. Just type Lise Colucci. Okay.
Yeah. And Lise with an E, not an A. So
Yes,
then,
Lise. Yes,
although if you misspell it, I think it still comes up. But
I think it does too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And go look at that video on the front of our channel if you're interested. It's again, it's like it's so it's $60 a month, $60 a month, 3 weekly sessions, optional, Zoom sessions. What else is it, Lisa? It's an ongoing chat,
Mm,
a private message chat with a private app that nobody else can see you talking on or even be connected to without
right.
direct connection
Off
with
of
us.
social media. Yeah. Now.
Yes, off of social media. Lots of support. Like I really consider it, and I send a lot of my clients her way as well to add to the coaching because
Mhm.
it's this ongoing, like it's an incredibly supportive everyday 24/7 thing. And I'm in love with it. I'm just really excited. I wish it was there when I was going through this.
Yeah, right. I know. That's what I
Seriously.
try. That's what I do is I try to figure out what do I wish I had personally,
Yeah,
and what do I hear people saying they need?
right.
Like, and I try to put it in there. Like lately, there's been a meditation every week.
Yes. Yes.
So because people have asked for it, and
Right.
it's on there, So
So yeah.
yeah, part of it. Anyway.
And there's some other benefits we'll tell you about later. Okay. I want to read this one, two more, and then we'll get out of here. Number 1 from Quinn: if you're unaware of your rights as a child, you live under their rule, not given the freedoms every other person has. Yes, been there, done that. Also from Chris: hey Chris, I saw her earlier, but I couldn't comment, but this is one of our mod squatters. She said, it's very much not a good thing. My niece got bailed out constantly and is now a full-blown covert narcissist. This is
Mm,
the other side of that coin, right? That's how a parent, one more way that a toxic parent creates another toxic person. I mean,
mhm.
we're all a little toxic because of what we grew up with, but we learn when we are types like us, right? Types like us, we make the effort. We see, okay, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like healthy and normal and relatively okay.
I want to be able to function in a relationship where I'm not harming other people. It's
Yes.
yes.
And so
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of us are empaths, not everybody, but a lot of us are empaths. We care about how people feel. Okay, we're gonna at least get to work. I think, I hope I'm not making you too late. Okay,
Oh, I'm not late yet.
thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so go over and watch the video on Lisa's front page and any other videos of hers that you'd like to watch, and make sure that you check out that coaching thing if you're interested in that weekly, it's a monthly $60 a month for 3 weekly sessions. What is that, Lisa?
I'm pretending to put a cup on the counter. Sorry. I'm just being distracted.
She's okay.
The counter is yeah.
Now I want to do it. Okay, wait. Okay.
Anyway, yes.
Okay, we're stopping.
We're
Okay,
stopping. Stopping now. Stop.
see you guys next week. queenbeing.com/groups. I'll put that in the chat for you. Okay. See y'all
Yep,
soon.
come find
Bye,
us.
Lisa.
Yep. We'll see you later. Bye.